Right, hello lads and lasses and welcome back to Boys Down Under. And how good does it feel waking up after that result? Honestly, I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely buzzing from that match still. And I feel there's just so much to deconstruct and take away from this game. This video literally could go on for a very long while if it was up to me, but for your guys' sake, I hope it doesn't, because my voice can get very, very annoying after about 15 minutes or so, I'd say. So fingers crossed we stay under that, but no promises whatsoever. And yeah, let's get into it. So Celtic 2, Ferencvaros 0. And it's a game that could have easily been 4 or 5-0 without a doubt. And I'm going to try and keep this in chronological order, so we'll get to these chances later on. But we'll start with the lineup because that's the first thing of every football match, and it's what I predicted and it's what everyone else expected it to be. The only spot of contention was left back, but Ange made it pretty clear that was going to be Montgomery in that position. And the first half, definitely controlled by Celtic. But Ferencvaros, they turned up. They kept Celtic within reaching distance, I guess we could say. They didn't let the game get away from them in that first half. And they pretty forcefully marked out David Turnbull in that first half. And Kyogo, also extremely quiet, was really struggling to get away from the two centre-backs. But Celtic were still dominating. Jota, he made the best out of an okay chance. And he pulled out a great save from the goalkeeper, because if that wasn't that, there would have been a goal in the first half. So that was a great save from the Ferencvaros keeper, Ferencvaros. You guys know what I'm saying. Anyways, Joe Hart called into action once in the first half. He had to make a solid but expected save, so fair play to him. And look, all in all, we all saw it. Celtic looked good, but they didn't look great. Monty, like I predicted, was going to start, and he did really try his guts off, but it was just the physical presence and inexperience which let him down. Obviously, we all know we would have run Bolly and Golly there, but Monty, still, he did what he had to and was sufficed throughout the game. And yeah, I guess there's not much else to say about that first half. Celtic dominated and they looked good, but we failed to convert, and we failed to create, more importantly, any real chances. We went into the break with, I think, if I remember correctly, 69 to 70% possession at half-time, but we only had a total of 3 shots on target, which after that first half, it wasn't worrying as such, but it was disappointing more than anything that we hadn't mustered a real great opportunity yet in that first half, because Celtic did deserve a great chance, but we hadn't earned it yet. But then, before we know it, halftime arrived, and then we go straight into the second half, and this is where Celtic found their rhythm. They came out of those sheds with a whole new oomph in them. I don't know what that means, but you get the idea. They had that oomph, and the deadlock was broken. 10 minutes into that second half, the fans who had come to watch a European Arvo game at 3:30 p.m. on a Tuesday, ones who skipped work, who had families to attend to, but still decided to come to the game, they were rewarded for their sacrifice. And honestly, they were rewarded with one of the most beautiful Celtic goals I've seen in recent times. The Portuguese prince, Jota, started with the ball in our very own corner flag. He mustered up a great and a lovely 1-2 with Monty right there in the corner flag. And that 1-2 seemingly opened up acres upon acres of space for Jota. He had so much room to move. And when he got that ball, I honestly expected him to try and take the team on, because that's just his natural instinct. But he utilized every single inch of space. He looked up, he saw Kyogo, and he played the most beautiful of assists for Kyogo, who brought it down with a magnificent first touch. It was absolutely incredible, and he slotted it in the back of the net to the keeper's left. The goal was absolutely incredible. It was so beautiful. It literally moved me emotionally, and it's hard for a football goal to do that. Everything about it was pure brilliance and utter class. Legitimately, the talent that Jota is at his age is incredible. He looks every bit of a Champions League player, and not like a Champions League player playing for the lower clubs. I mean, I could easily see him representing Man City, Liverpool, Barcelona, even though Barcelona aren't very good. You get the idea, those top European teams, I could easily see Jota slot into them and just bring so much quality and class. £6.2 million is all we have to fork out for a player of this quality. It's an absolute steal for him. And the board, it's a just must have. They have to cough the money up for him, whether it be now, January, or the end of his loan deal. It has to happen. Like, I can't say much more than that. Full stop. Jota has to be a Celtic player beyond this season, because that's what a rebuild is. You buy new players who are in for the long haul, and he needs to be here for the long haul. 100,000,000%. But back to the game, because that's what we're here for. And not even 5 minutes later, those celebrations that was set, the goal that set Celtic, the 50,000 people at Celtic Park into pandemonium, was almost so close to being cut short if it was not for a heroic block from Anthony Cafu Ralston. He came in from behind and tackled Ryan Mamay, who, if he had not made that tackle, Joe Hart was stranded in the middle of goal. You could go left, you could go right, and it was a goal. And Tony Ralston, that tackle is incredible, because not only is it dangerous, playing in a dangerous manner, but he took it so composed and so calmly that he got all ball. He didn't even take out the Ferencvaros striker. Literally, from behind, that is such a difficult feat. And it just shows the amount of class Tony Ralston has in him, and that has been brought out by Ange this season. He's really matured into such a top player. And honestly, I celebrated that moment, that block, that interception, whatever you want to call the tackle, as a goal, because I knew, well, I'd assume if that goal went in, the outcome of that match would have completely changed. And so, Tony Ralston, thank you. I should not have done that. Anyways, then literally a minute later from that, and this period of play was so action-packed for Celtic. It had me on the edge of my seat. They go upfield, and Monty, on the edge of the box, wins a lovely, lovely penalty just on the inside. And I've got to give props to him, because he did really well there to win that. He got his body in the way and drew the foul. So well done to him. And McGregor, yeah, he missed it, okay? He missed the penalty. It is what it is. Was it a bad pen? No. Was it a good save? Very much so, yes. Because I think I heard it somewhere, if McGregor goes that way again and the goalkeeper goes a different way, everyone will say it's a great pen. But, of course, fair play to the Ferencvaros goalkeeper. He's done very well there. And this moment when watching the game was very, very, very nervy, because in all my years of watching football, it might not be many, but all the years I've been watching it, every time a team is 1-0 down and saves a penalty, they somehow find a way to get a point or 3 points out of the match. And they use that newfound momentum. But in saying that, if I was a Ferencvaros fan, I would be extremely disappointed with my team, because that momentum seemingly amounted to nothing. If this game was in Hungary, maybe it's a different story, but it just amounted to nothing. Ferencvaros did not really attack Celtic at all after that moment. And I think it's props to Celtic, because they did not let that miss affect them in any single way. We just kept our heads up. We did not drop our heads for a minute. Obviously, bit of disappointment. But you get on with the game. There's still a game at hand. You're still winning 1-0. You need to secure those 3 points. And that's exactly what we did. And because Celtic just kept on pushing and pushing and pushing for a second goal for security. And we came so close on so many occasions. Turnbull's corner, Giacomakis, that overhead hit. That would have been spectacular for a debut goal. But until finally, the ball ended up somehow in the back of the net. And how it happened, what better way than to dramatise it completely? So McGregor, he has the ball on the edge of the box. He's just won it back in the opposition's defensive third. Finding Jota on the edge of the box. Takes one touch. Then squares it across goal. And there waiting is David Turnbull and Georgios Giacomakis, as the commentators like to call him. Turnbull fluffs it. And I was just there. Okay, I'm stopping that now because that was really weird, but I was there When Turnbull fluffed that first shot, I was with my head in my hands. I could not believe what I saw. Literally, I was not even looking at the game. And so I pull my head back up to see, maybe Ferencvaros in possession, and I see 2-0 on the scoreboard, and then Giacomakis and Turnbull lying on the ground together. I was confused, to say the least. So I had to rewind, and I realized, oh my God, we've somehow scored a goal from that. And was it an own goal? Yeah, I think so. But we're going to give it to Turnbull just because I feel bad for that scuffing of the first shot. And it was more relief than celebrations, I think. I think I was more relieved than anything because that sent us 2-0 up. Ferencvaros were not attacking us anymore. We only had 10 minutes left of normal time in the game. 3 points were basically sealed. It would have taken a miracle for Ferencvaros to have gotten something out of that game. And like I said earlier, it could have been 4 or 5-0. We had so many more chances. We had Jota, he missed the 1-on-1. Turnbull missed another chance. And we had that penalty miss. It could have easily been 5 goals for the boys. But I think I should talk about a couple key points from the game now because we've gone over the game, but it was such a performance that we need to take the specifics out of it. And the first thing and the main thing is Ange's game management. At the start of the season, or not really the start, but in some of the more hairy games we had, I guess you could say, Ange made some questionable decisions on the substitutions. But as he showed against Motherwell and as he clearly identified tonight, he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing on the side of the pitch because he is a very, very smart fella. Each substitute was the correct substitute, without a doubt. I wouldn't have done anything differently myself, to be honest. Like, Giacomakis, a much needed physical presence up top, and he did what he had to do. Nirbaton on for Rogic is the perfect substitute because not only does it give Rogic a rest, it brings on Nirbaton and it doesn't hinder our attacking capabilities because we're just able to push Turnbull further up the field and then bring Callum McGregor a bit up and just slot Baton into that CDM role, which he's actually known to play and not the centre-back spot. Liam Scales, he got a run around, fair play to him, and it was a smart substitution there. Monty was on a yellow and Celtic needed someone to see out the game at left back because Monty, just recovering from an injury, was probably dead tired. So Liam Scales, correct substitution there. Then Mikey Johnston, fresh legs up front, is never looked negatively. And he almost got an assist if Jota decided to finish it, but we can't hate on Jota because literally one of the best players at Celtic, one of the best players in the league at the moment. And hats off to Postecoglou because he stuck to his tactics, he stuck to his substitutes, and the substitutes did not disappoint. They did what they had to do, which was not only see out the game, but maintain the level of intensity Ange required for the full 90 minutes. And the second point. We'll move on to the second point now, and that is Callum McGregor is an absolute workhorse and so crucial to this Celtic team's success. Not only is he our captain and our leader, he is the key to our midfield. And I'll give you some stats from the game if you don't believe me. He made 104 passes out of 107 attempts. That is a pass accuracy of 97% in a European match. Incredible. He won back possession more times than any other player in the Celtic team. He also had the most touches of the ball than any other player in the Celtic team. And if that doesn't, he had the most shots on target as well. And if that doesn't prove how crucial he is to this team, more specifically as a CDM, then I don't know what does. All that could have sealed his performance at the end of the day would have been a nice goal. I'm kidding. Cal Mac, you did amazing. Don't let that get to you. Keep up the great form. Anyways, into the third and final point I want to make because the video is getting long. I feel I've been talking for years. I thought that the defensive performance we put out against Motherwell was the best of the season. I was wrong. The best defensive performance we've put out all season was today. The defense was outstanding. It was an incredible game from every single member of the backline. Even Monty tried his guts out, and that's all you can ask for a 19-year-old in a position he's unfamiliar with. And yes, Starr felt he may have had a hiccup late on, but honestly, The defense, it was immense. It was amazing. We just nullified Ferencvaros' attack. And even when they had golden opportunities, we stepped in and nullified it so they would not go in the back of the net. And in saying the defensive line was great, the defense isn't only the defensive line, it's also the goalkeeper. And on two key occasions, Joe Hart was called into action and he was reliable as ever on both occasions. Solid saves. And I honestly feel Barkas might have let one or two of them in, maybe not paying attention, because the second one, which was the free kick, the curler, it caught him off guard, but Joe Hart still got a hand to it and he got it away, which was fair play to him. Now, regardless of the keeper situation, back to the centre-back situation, and it raises the question of Julien. And now Julien is set to return, in the next 2 or 3 matches, we assume, because he's returned to first-team training. So the question is, does he replace Carl Starfelt, who has been looking really strong recently, or Cameron Carter-Vickers, who's just put out solid form since his arrival? Or does Julien even replace anyone at all? Something to think over, and I think it's a question we need to answer in another video, because this video is getting very, very long. To sum up, however, we got 3 points from the game. We needed 3 points, and another 3 points if we can get those in Hungary, which I honestly can see us doing. That will almost certainly assure us a European position after Christmas, whether that be in the Europa League or Conference League. But I'd take either personally. If that meant we could keep succeeding and winning in the league, I would take either League of Europe. But that is all from me. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel. But until next time, hail, hail.